I know it seems like there's a lot of fucked up people in the world and the world is going to shit and all that right now, but it's not really true. I feel that there's more good in the world than bad. And that is pretty much always going to be the case. There's always going to be more good people than bad people. There's always going to be more sane people and people trying to advance the world in a better way than there are evil people and people trying to destroy it. So the goal is to just be a part of that good group. And unfortunately, sometimes the enemy of the great is the good. So you're just trying to be good. You're just trying to, hang out with your friends and do the right thing and, stay low key and not try to stir up too much shit. But we don't have enough people in the world that are genuinely, without any corruption, doing the right thing. You got the politicians of the world. You got the world leaders who are supposedly supposed to be out there helping people and running shit and setting a good example. But unfortunately, you have more regular people, just regular everyday people that are setting a better example than some of the people that are elected officials. And my goal, and I feel like everyone's goal, now I get not everyone is going to do this, but it's going to take a few people to actually stand up and and start saying and doing the right things. And it's more important that you do the right things than to say the right things. It's just the way it is. You have to act, and then you don't actually have to say anything. You just act accordingly. And I think that the best way to start doing that is with yourself. And the best way that you can start with yourself is physical exercise. And after having done this for, been on a strict exercise regime for, 13, 14 years now, it's very apparent to me that the number one deciding factor when people start to change their lives and better themselves is to start exercising. And you don't have to, go to a gym or do anything. You don't have to do anything to spend any money, actually, to start doing this. It would be nice to have all the cool running gear and running shoes and cycling attire and clip-in shoes and everything, or the fancy gym membership, the Equinox or whatever these bitch-ass fucking fitness clubs are. But you don't need any of that. All you need is the pavement. You just go for walks, you go for runs, you go out in your backyard and start hitting push-ups, squats, lunges. Just start improving your physical strength, and it will improve your mental strength. They go hand in hand. You can't have a sound body. You can. Okay, I'm not going to say you can't, because there are some lunatics out there that are fucking in great shape. But for the most part, in order for you to get into great shape and maintain it for your entire life, it's going to take a sound mind. Anyone can go out for a year and become an athlete. Anyone can go out for 1 year, 2 years, and be the best that they've ever been. And that's just, examples of that. If you read Caitlyn Jenner's book, Secrets of My Life, when she was Bruce Jenner, she went out hot, became an Olympian in the decathlon, and that was a 4-year period where she talked about having pushed herself to such a high level of fitness that she tried to bury the feelings of being a woman. And that's just an example of someone who uses fitness for, and I'm sure that, she would say that fitness is a big part of her life, obviously. But it's kind of like someone who takes steroids to get big and swole and fulfill some, fantasy of looking great, and then that makes them feel better about themselves. But that's just not an effective way to create a sound mind. But my main point of this is to start to use physical fitness to enhance your mental power. Once you become more disciplined with your own body and you start to get in better shape, you start to have more energy for more things in life, like enhancing your finances, enhancing your marital relationship or your relationships with others. When you start to exercise more frequently and harder, you start to have more of an appreciation for, especially when you get out in nature, you start to have a better appreciation for living beings and what it takes to live on Earth and everything. At least that is what it is for me. I think that's going to happen for a lot of people, but nothing inspires people. When you watch the movies, you know, what inspires the soul is, you know, love stories and stories of where people overcome the odds and do something extraordinary, or people that have great feats of strength. And that's why when you see TV shows and everything, it's usually like a good looking, well-maintained, physically fit, attractive person who's succeeding. And it's not to make people feel bad. You know, I'm not out here to make people feel bad and say, hey, you know, if you're overweight or whatever, that you're less attractive. Like that's not the case, but it's more about energy. You know, I don't care and no one cares if you're fucking, you know, 5'3" and 300 pounds. Like no one actually cares. I don't care. When I'm at Walmart and I see someone that's fucking 5'3" and 300 pounds, I just think, well, that's cool. Do whatever you want. But your energy level is down low and you know it. You know, like if you're fucking overweight, it's hard on your body, you know? Like you can't barely walk a fucking mile and a half without breathing hard and walk up a flight of stairs, and your energy level is low. And, you know, with that being said, it's like, is that worth it? I don't know if it's worth it. You got to decide on that. But I see a lot of things out there where people are pissed off because magazines and TV shows are like fat shaming people. It's like, no one's fat shaming you. No one gives a shit. If you want to be fat, be fucking fat. No one cares. You know, it's like, go out and be fat. Be your fat ass self. No one gives a shit. But at the end of the day, like, you got to decide if that's right for you. If you feel deep inside like, I'm fat, I know it, I want to change, but it's hard. Well, no fucking shit, man. It's hard for everybody. It's fucking hard for me. It's hard for everyone who decides to get in shape. It's not an easy fucking task. It's like making $1 million. That's not fucking easy either. But doesn't it suck to only have $10 in your pocket? Or even worse, $80,000 in debt? Doesn't that suck, cock? Hell yeah, it does. So if you don't like your position, then change it. That's really all you have to do. And of course it's going to be difficult, but no one said it was going to be fucking easy. And with that being said, get the hell out there, do the right thing. If you want to make a difference in the world and you want to have these fucking assholes out there that people are writing songs about, get out of their position and switch with you or anyone else who you think might be a better candidate for a leadership position. You have to be that new leader, you know? We have to have some new leaders in this world emerge. They're not just, you know, leaders are created from learning from mistakes, making mistakes, learning from them, making mistakes and learning from them, reading from others' mistakes, constantly learning. You're not just born a fucking leader, unless you're just born into a kingship or something, which, I mean, who the hell would want that? But, you know, if you want to actually make a difference in this world, you have to start with you. Like, you have to start with you. It is not a, you know, oh, I hope somebody changes the world one day. Like, that's a fucked up way of thinking about it. Try and change it yourself. Get out there, do some good. And it all starts with, like, just the little things. The tiny little details matter the most. Like when you're cleaning your house and you are when you're vacuuming your house, and you just vacuum the middle of the floor, and you don't get the hose out and vacuum the tight little corners. All you do is just vacuum the middle and use the big vacuum and just smush it up against the wall, but you really don't get the corners, you know? That makes a hell of a difference. And if you don't believe me, try it. Like, just vacuum your floor like normal. And like, if you have pets, you'll notice that you have little clumps of dirt and hair all in the tight little corners. It looks like shit, but when you actually clean it, when you actually pay attention to the details, and you fine brush the baseboards and clean everything really neatly, and you walk into the room, you realize the tiny details make the big picture. They absolutely make the big picture. So, you know, don't discount those little you know, low intensity workouts that you do to fill the gaps between the really hard stuff. And I kind of go back and forth between the big picture of life, like being a leader, and then going back down to just doing an everyday workout. And it plays such a big factor that it has to be said. In order for you to, you know, I see leaders out there in the world who are world leaders, but man, it's just that I don't know how they got in that position. You know, just from writing papers, going to school, doing politics, you know, and money and fundraising and all that stuff. Like, you can really see the difference between a great leader, someone who's well-rounded, who takes care of themselves, who has presence, who has like a good, strong physical presence about them, and really wants to take care of others and really cares about them. You can really tell. And with a lot of these leaders in our country and all over the world, it's not just America, it's everywhere. But you can tell when like, these people don't give a fuck about you, man. Like, they're just out for themselves. They just go home at night and they're comfy in their beds because they make their salary and they just want to stay there, you know? And you can tell when you see that. I can certainly fucking tell, and I know everyone else can too. But if you want to change those things, if you want to grow up and be somebody who can actually make a difference in this world, you have to start with you. And the best way to start with that is, like I said earlier, in the gym, in those 5 a.m. runs, the shit where you're by yourself and you're working hard, no one else is there to judge you but you, and you're just doing it because you know that it's going to make you better. And if you follow that, I'm telling you, there's magic in this world and you're going to find it. But with that, get out there, PT, do your thing, change the world. I'm out.